This is the new normal. We must always put on our face masks at all times to ensure that we protect ourselves and our loved ones. Welcome to your program, Security Watch Africa. And only on this channel we give you that information you need to keep your life safe and secured. I'm glad to inform you that the move towards getting the world out of this coronavirus pandemic is already on. Vaccination is already taking place all over the world, and Nigeria is not an exception. I'm also here to inform you that I took my own vaccination yesterday. It was quite smooth, seamless, without difficulties, without trouble. And 24 hours after, I'm still strong and healthy. There are no side effects, and I believe that there won't be any side effects. And this indeed is my own vaccination card to show that I'm vaccinated, and I have a date for my second dose. So indeed, we're all encouraged to ensure that we get vaccinated. It's very, very important for the sake of you and your loved ones. Get vaccinated. There are no, all the myths, all this talk about vaccination and all that, really I can tell you is not true, because I'm a living witness myself, and so easy. Kudos to all the agencies that contributed towards making this as smooth as it is. I spent less than 10 minutes or thereabout getting, because of some people before ahead of me, and everything was smooth. So we're encouraged to do ours. So welcome to our program today. Yes, about 2 weeks ago, I must tell you that we are saddened, Security Watch Africa, because when government agencies who are to help to ensure that the right things are done are those that are trying to trample on some citizens, program is disturbing. In 2019, December precisely, Security Watch Africa wrote a letter for requesting for collaboration with the Nigerian Diaspora Commission, led by Honorable Abike Dabiri Erewa. By January 2020, the commission sent somebody to our office to get more detail about our proposed program, which is the Nigerian Diaspora Security Summit, and took the details. Subsequent dialogue and discussions with them, and they told us that because of the COVID, they are looking into it. Only two weeks ago, we were told by the security services that the commission is already planning, going ahead to do this summit, which we submitted to them, which is very, very bad. And the commission never deemed it fit to inform us about this. Really, I think it's quite, we never expected this from a government establishment to steal ideas from private citizens and implement it as if it's theirs without recourse to those who brought up this idea. And this idea is as a result of our international conferences and summits that we have been doing across the globe, and what Nigerians are yearning for. And that was why we brought up this idea. And it's so sad that that is being done. We are calling, this is to inform the world that that conference or that summit they are planning is a stolen one from Security Watch Africa initiatives. Yeah, to today's program, we're still continuing with our awareness program on COVID, coronavirus, and how we can get out of it. Security Watch Africa did a special report on what is being done and what should be done, and more details about coronavirus. And Peggy Agbe did a report together when she visited the Institute of Human Virology of Nigeria and put together this report. Sit back as we bring you this report.
Globally, the world is facing unprecedented challenges to its economy and lifestyle due to the coronavirus pandemic. Nations and people of the world are not able to carry out usual economic or social activities and had looked forward to Sukkah. With the development, approval, and availability of the coronavirus vaccine, some still question the existence of coronavirus itself and its speed in the availability of the vaccine. Security Watch Africa's crew spoke with the Chief Executive Officer, Institute of Human Virology, Dr. Patrick Sunday Dacom, on the level of damages meted on the world due to the pandemic and how soon the world will return to normalcy. And he had this to say.
The exposure of the healthcare system to a pandemic like this revealed the weaknesses, even in a developed economy. Can you imagine that in Europe, the healthcare system was overwhelmed? in the United States of America, the healthcare system was overwhelmed. Even here in Nigeria, it got to a point whereby, beds were no more available. And in fact, people had to be treated at home in a number of situations. It exposed our lack of human resources in terms of healthcare workers, in terms of materials, PPEs. It also exposed the fact that our logistics system was very poor. But for us in Nigeria also, you clearly saw that it exposed the fact that we are not a manufacturing country. So the impact, while it is negative, it has also made a diagnosis for us in terms of where our needs are, not only in terms of healthcare workers, not only in terms of equipment, but in terms of logistics system to manage all of that. Even when the issue of vaccine was coming, imagine one of the things that we had to grapple with, do we have the cold chain facilities to be able to keep this? So I think you can just look at it in every area. And that's not to talk about, when we talk about mortality, it's only one. Remember that the other effect is the mental illness that has gone along with a sharp rise in mental illness as far as the pandemic is concerned. Not only are people mourning, their social life has been disrupted and they are unable to do the things that they used to do. People couldn't go to their worship centers for some time. And all this lack of socialization also had a negative impact on mental health. And now we are grappling with all of this. When are we coming back to normal life? In terms of coming back to normal life, when we don't need to wear regular face masks, etc., I think that we should be looking at almost towards the end of the year.
Dr. Patrick also gave some clarity on the myths surrounding the COVID-19 vaccines, the benefits of being vaccinated, and how safe the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine is.
Just check out, if you are a fairly older person like me, you've approached 60 or above 60, just check our shoulders. There is a mark there for all of us. What is that mark? It is a mark of vaccination we got when we were children. So we have been getting vaccination and we have never manufactured any of the vaccines here. So if anybody had intention to kill, why wouldn't they put it in those vaccines? We get meningitis vaccine, we get hepatitis vaccine, we get BCG for TB, polio. We get polio vaccine. We had the same controversy over polio, that they had injected some medicine inside to stop people from having children. So there are people that just are anti-vaccine. I believe that the safety of AstraZeneca vaccine is enough for us to continue to do our vaccination. The major side effect that led to some countries suspending hematological, meaning some blood clots, okay, is not led to any mortality yet, death. So in terms of the number, it is still within the normal number of people that would have developed that within the general population, okay? So if, for example, today we have maybe in the community in Abuja, every year we have 30 people that come up with blood clotting problems. And this whole Abuja is vaccinated and still 30 people came up with blood clotting. Nothing has changed. The level has not reached any level that is where we can say that in the general population is attributable to it. However, safety is very, very key. And that is why in some countries they decided to wait and see. But WHO has now looked at the trials that have taken place, look at the vaccine very well, and have come up with a decision that, you know what, we've looked at every data and this vaccine is safe. And we work hand in gloves with WHO because they have global experience and they have a rich number of scientists there that work along with our own scientists. And we have WHO represented here in Nigeria, and they're working hand in gloves with the Presidential Task Force for COVID-19 and providing day-to-day advice.
One wouldn't know how strong one is until being strong is all you have left. The pandemic is something that we cannot wix away with a snap of the hand. We need to stay alive to win this battle. Follow all the etiquettes of COVID-19 as instructed by the World Health Organization and nation centers for disease control. Stay alive, Stay safe. Peggy Agbe, Security Watch Africa, Abuja.
Welcome back. It's good for us to observe all protocols so that we can stay alive. It's not negotiable. It's very, very important. Yes, let's go to the Defense Headquarters. As part of the program, move to ensure that the insecurity challenge being faced by Nigeria is checked. The Defense Headquarters, under the leadership of General Leo Lucky Rabo, put together a summit called the National Defense and Security Summit to look into how best to face this insurgency and terrorism that we are facing in the country. Security Watch Africa was there. Sit back as we bring you this report put together by Shuli Daniels.
Chief of Defense Staff, General Lucky Rabo, has said that the armed forces of Nigeria under his watch will work assiduously to stabilize security in the country. General Rabo said this while speaking in his opening remark at the one-day National Defense and Security Summit held in Abuja.
It is no longer news that the nation experiences a wide range of national security threats, including terrorism, insurgency, farmers-herders conflicts, ethno-religious conflicts, kidnapping, and banditry. These threats pose immediate and present danger to the corporate existence, sovereignty, territorial integrity, unity, stability, and sustainable development of the nation. Consequently, the President, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Muhammadu Buhari, has given a clear mandate for action. First and foremost, let me state clearly that as a result of the presidential directive, the Armed Forces of Nigeria is already seized with the actions to immediately stabilize the situation. Our strategic objectives are manifold and include to neutralize non-state actors and other agents of violence in our communities, forests, and countryside, to stabilize the security situation across the nation, to facilitate law and order, and lastly, to provide the enabling environment for peace and development.
The summit, which has a theme as promoting kinetic operations as the major plank for counter-terrorism and counter-insurgency in Nigeria, had attendance from the Armed Forces of Nigeria, security services, state governors, ministers, traditional rulers, and media, among others. Speaking further on the need for the summit, the CDS pointed out that the Security Summit is aimed at sensitizing and galvanizing support for the Armed Forces of Nigeria Kinetic Campaign.
The specific objectives of the summit are to create functional awareness of the rationale for the kinetic efforts, promote buy-in and support of critical stakeholders in the polity, promote viable civil-military relations structures in support of the kinetic efforts, promote possible deterrence from violent non-state actors, facilitate strategic communications, and promote a cohesive information strategy on the kinetic approach, promote resource support for the kinetic approach, create awareness of the imperatives of post-kinetic actions to consolidate security, and lastly, consider other relevant measures to sustain security and stabilize the polity.
The special guest of honor, who is the Minister of Defense, Major General Bashir Magashi, retired, urged stakeholders and the general public to collaborate with the armed forces and other security agencies in the task of ensuring national security.
The focus and objective use of kinetic operations therefore becomes very obvious. The Armed Forces of Nigeria and other security agencies, in league with strategic ministries, department, and agency of government, are critical to this security initiative. We are in a critical situation that requires the understanding, buy-in, support, and collaboration of important stakeholders and key players in the strategic option and to the national task. This is important to minimize distractions and maximize civil support in order to facilitate operational successes and missions outcomes.
The guest speaker of the lecture at the event, Ambassador Abdullahi Omaki, while speaking on issues, challenges and prospects of military kinetic operations, opined that it is imperative for Nigeria to embrace outright kinetic operation in countering terrorism and insurgency.
In the case of Nigeria, experience shows that the military, with its air power and specialized weaponry, is best equipped to handle counterterrorism and counterinsurgency roles to secure the country. The tactics used by terrorists and insurgents, which involve extreme brutality against unarmed civilians and hit-and-run attacks on sub-targets, have made it imperative and indeed urgent for the Nigerian military to adopt kinetic action in their counter-terrorism and counter-insurgency efforts. One of the lessons from the Philippines and Indonesia is that kinetic action can be successfully employed to neutralize terrorists and insurgents. It should, however, be part of a strategy that is intelligence-driven. Should be intelligence-driven.
The summit also had virtual attendees who participated at the event. Shirley Daniels, Security Watch Africa, Abuja.
Welcome back. Yes. One of the challenges that is facing the modern society, particularly Nigeria, is the involvement of youth in cultism. Cultism, which I have described severally as the mother of all crimes, because any cultist can be a member of, can participate in any form of crime, armed robbery, assassination, everything you can think of. And so Security Watch Africa decided to do a special report on the menace of cultism, and we spoke with some people on what is being done about cultism, particularly the Nigeria police. Sit back as we bring you this special report by Shekina Chinkere.
With the rising wave of cultism and cult-related activities in Nigeria, so many people are worried, and the negative effect of this, particularly with the involvement of youth in these dubious and diabolic acts. Recently in Abia State, 4 members of a cult group known as Supreme Vikings Confraternity were arrested for robbery and murder of 2 persons in the state, and they confessed to the crime.
Are you cultist? What's the name of your fraternity?
Supreme Viking Confraternity. Supreme Viking Confraternity.
All of you?
Yeah.
Okay. How many of you went for the operation, for that armed robbery operation that led to the killing of Dr. Chimobi Victor at Azikiwe? How much did you people collect from Dr. Victor Chimobi?
52,000. 50 something thousand, like 52,000.
How many of you entered the man's office?
Yeah, 2 that entered inside.
Who and who entered inside his office?
Me and the robber.
Who and the robber? Then who fired Doctor?
The shot was inside, from outside.
Mr. Samuel, who fired Dr. Samuel Chimobi?
I know I was at the background. The event was happening, but I wasn't close to them. Me myself, I came down.
You came down from where?
Yeah, from the KK, because I wasn't with Com. I came down.
Who fired Dr. Chimobi?
The man
Victor.
was having problem with this boy. So it's like the guy push him. So the 2 of them rush, come outside. He and that doctor, they come outside together. I was standing outside beside the door. So the next thing I see, I hear shot where he shoot the man. So
who shoot the man?
So I was telling him that
shoot the man.
Wait, let me talk.
Who shoot the man?
So I was the one that shoot the man. So I was telling him, why would you shoot close to me that I'm close to the man? It's like that.
Okay, you were telling him.
Yes, I told him that you want to kill me, that I was at the back of that man. You now shoot like that. He was after me and the man rush come outside. So you now do like this and shoot. So I was telling him, why will you shoot that? He said I'm close to the man.
He said who shoot the man?
So I'm not the one that shoot the man.
Yeah, who shoot the man?
So I see who shoot the man. I'm the one that enter inside with the other guy that is not here with us.
With your gun?
Bro, the man run from inside, come outside. I didn't come outside with the man.
You push come outside.
And before we go to the operation,
because I wasn't Before you went the operation there, we have already said 2 people will enter inside the warehouse. And it's me and that guy that enter inside the warehouse. The man first see us, run come out. As if they run come out, but the way he push him, as if they run come out in from door where he won't enter. Now the man push him. I didn't even touch him. So he now come back and fire the man. I did not even touch the man. So the man, but I did not even
what do you people use for the operation? Keke or motor? Keke.
So I wasn't at the background. I wasn't with anything. I wasn't at the
You went with them for the operation. You were inside the keke on standby.
No, I was by like this.
But you went with them for the operation. You went with them for the operation.
Yes, I went with them, and only
you are among the gang group that went for the operation, right?
Concerned with this disturbing trend, Security Watch Africa spoke with a retired Assistant Inspector General of Police who was a one-time Commissioner of Police of Kogi State and the Federal Capital Territory, AIG Wilson Inalegu. AIG Inalegu tells us how he handled the issues of cultism during his time.
When I was Commissioner of Police Kogi State, we carried out a lot of sensitization, and a lot of them renounce cultism, and it was a very beautiful thing. So in addition to law enforcement approach, we also have to look at sensitization, education, getting people in the communities, giving them some level of training so they'll be able to identify these guys who are involved in cultist acts, and then they are intercepted before they actualize even their initiation.
Speaking on the way out of this disturbing trend, he had this to say.
There are provisions for public enlightenment and sensitization. You sensitize at, when you have permission to go to campuses or schools, you catch them young. You begin to talk to them by collaborating with relevant NGOs. There are lots of NGOs who are involved in all this when you work. And then you go again, even now we're having community policing, and we have some officers within specific communities that will be made supernumerary police. So these are embedded in our various communities. So that is one step. But when that fails, you have to carry out the proper law enforcement, get good information and intelligence about them, intercept them, and then you prosecute them.
To find out what the Nigeria Police Force is doing, from the force headquarters in Abuja, we had a chat with the Force Public Relations Officer, CP Frank Mba.
We are combining both core law enforcement tools as well as non-core law enforcement tools such as advocacy, school visitation programs, engagement with our critical stakeholders as well as the critical age group within our society, and legislative activism and other forms of engagement with the civil society to also help educate our young people, expose them to the inherent dangers involved in becoming members of these cult groups, and then helping them to acquire the necessary skills and tools to survive without being members of the cult groups.
AIG Inalegu and CP Mba gave their advice.
Have trust. Have courage. There are many things in this life that are free, but people do not realize. Life is about trust in the Almighty, because you can, if you like, be a cultist. If you are not destined to be a police officer, you cannot be. If you are not destined to be president, you cannot be. If you are not destined to be governor, you cannot be. Therefore, free yourself. Don't get involved in own gathering in one corner, carrying out rituals, to initiation rituals, it's not necessary.
Parents must continuously watch their young ones, their children, their words. And if you see signs that there is a sudden mutation in their character, there are sudden changes in their character, then you need to begin to talk to law enforcement agencies closest to you.
With the alarming rate of cultism in Nigeria, it is time for everyone to work towards eliminating cultism if truly Nigeria will have a peaceful tomorrow. Shekina Chinkere, Security Watch Africa, Abuja.
Welcome back. Yeah, sadly, we have to leave because time is not our friend when we're on television, because other program has to come in. But like the reports did say, we must all work together to remain safe. The special report on cultism is important, calling on parents and the society to ensure that the right ways are taught to the children. Some children learn from their parents on what their parents are doing. They want to emulate and do that. So parents must try as much as possible to show good example to their children. Until we come over again next week, I say thanks for staying tuned and bye for now.